I've been playing Wizard101 since 2012. I am 21 now. It has been 14 years of my life that I have played and stayed on this game. And for a lot of you guys are the exact same way. But today, we're going to talk about if you should even try Wizard101 as a new user, or should you even keep playing as one who's played before. Obviously, this all comes down to personal preference. If you want to play the game, play it. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. But hopefully my video can maybe answer some questions and provide a solid state of what's going on in the spiral, because it's been a little bit rough. Right, lady? Okay, thanks for saying nothing, just carrying the jar or whatever. So we're in Marleybone and we're gonna be talking about the game updates. Now obviously, I'm not gonna go through every single update that's ever happened in the history of Wizard101 because I don't think either of us have time for that. But we have to start talking about, do developers care about their players? And that's a big question for games that have pretty much only a player base of people who have played for a long time. You don't see a lot of the same ads that you saw growing up in Wizard101, and I would probably bet statistics-wise a solid 98% of players are people who have played before 2015, coming back to play again. Now, we could talk about their advertising, but that's for a different YouTube video. We gotta talk right now about what's keeping the players happy and what's keeping them around. Well, something that the game does really well is nostalgia. I have terrible memories of going through Big Ben. Oh wait, I did that yesterday on my live stream! Yeah, that didn't go so well. But anyway, I have awful memories of going all the way through Big Ben and having people leave me halfway through the dungeon. But it's those kind of moments that make me come back to Wizard101, because it's memories, and I love to make memories in this game. I remember the first time that I got to see Malistaire and finally fight him. I was so elated as a kid, I felt super excited. And that same magic still applies nowadays. When I fight Malistaire, I get into it. I'm 21 years old, but I still have the same love for the game that I did when I was younger. The only problem is, the game has not updated accordingly. Dragonspire's textures are extremely dated and don't look very good at all. While I absolutely love the world and always will, everything looks like it was made in 240p. And maybe while back in the day, that used to be just fine, that doesn't fly nowadays. This is the big boss of the first arc. Sorry, I had to collect my reagent. This is the big boss of the first arc. A lava world, super cool. And you're telling me this is the lava texture that they're using? Now this would be a little bit more excusable if they stopped updating the game and they just had the servers on. But the game gets updated every single year, 3 times a year. New textures have been made for lava way since Dragonspire, and you can't tell me that they couldn't have at least updated some of them. I understand that it might take a while, but come on! That's not the only problem. Wizard101 actually had the summer update, which I covered in this video up here, talking all about how Wizard101 literally cut off their update. And what I mean by that is they're trying to do a delayed update. They were accidentally released an entire new Marleybone dungeon that I got to experience and play on the aforementioned video, but then cut it out because they accidentally moved it to Live Realm. That doesn't accidentally happen. There's no quality care anymore. I emailed them a few days ago because my life wizard was stuck in a specific world. They told me I was wrong and I have yet to hear back. I don't necessarily like to utilize Reddit, but a lot of people do. If you look at the Wizard101 Reddit, there are a lot of people that have exact same feelings about the KI team that I do. I don't think they're bad people, and I genuinely hope that they want to make Wizard101 good, but they just don't care anymore, it feels like. You can't anger your player base, because if you anger your nostalgic player base, you're not going to have that many people left. You're not gaining any new players. There was a solid period in time that I didn't buy membership or do anything related to Wizard101 from about COVID time to about this year. As your former fans grow up and start to have lives and start to build families and everything that they might want to do, full-time jobs, they're not going to have as much time for Wizard101. But unfortunately, that's not the end of the problems that we have with these updates. When you have Dragonspire, the final strong world of the first arc, looking like this, like I mentioned earlier, it's not a good sign. They keep making worlds every year, but they're not really putting much into the old ones. I've seen it be asked countless times. I'm not speaking for everybody in the Wizard101 community, but what I have seen a lot of times is people would love to see us going back to the older worlds and doing quests in them or finding new areas in them. All the times when that has happened, we super love it. But with the exception of Wizard City and Krakatopia, they all look bad. They all look bad. I know if I was playing a new game, like a new MMO that I saw news for, and I decided to try it out and I saw how these worlds looked, I'd be like, oh good lord, I can go find better by probably an indie developer nowadays. It's time to be a little bit more positive though. So, we've talked a lot about the bad, we gotta talk a little bit about the good. So, the good things about this game, like I said, are the nostalgia, but there's also something about these updates that are lovely. They do release quality of life fixes a lot, and they do genuinely seem to care about player feedback, as they implemented a really bad change for the kiosk that I actually misunderstood in that video, but then reverted it because people were really mad. Now, you could make the argument if somebody really hated an update that was maybe in test realm or was already shown before and they still implemented it and deleted it later, does that really show care? That's kind of up to personal preference. Like I said, I genuinely love the game. I want want to see it go on forever, but I just disagree with a little bit of what's happening right now. I think there's a lot of snarky people that work for Kingsisle, and I don't think it's a good look for a kid's game. Again, it's not everybody. I'm sure there's lovely people on that team, and I'd love to meet them, but so far, the people that I've met, it's not necessarily been my best experience. Now, I really want to keep personal biases out of this as much as I can. I want to add my personal anecdotes, of course, but my personal biggest problem with these updates before we move on to the next section is it's just gotten too complicated. Look at these spell cards. I'm 21 years old in college, and I could not understand what these Wizard101 cards mean for a card game, meaning that I can almost guarantee a bunch of kids, since that's the audience that they seem to cater to, aren't gonna get it either. First, I'd hardly ever heard the word Gambit before Wizard101, and second, what the hell do I do with this? Like, the Shadow update was awful. I don't even want to talk about that. That's a story for a different video. But anyway, that's my biggest problem with Wizard101. We're going to go ahead and move on and change gears a little bit to maybe see what's working and what's not. It's time for my Blaze Lifehammer arc as we stare at the stars in Arcanum. I'm just kidding, Blaze. I love you. But anyway, here's the dealio. So for WizTube and Wiz Streaming, I've made Wizard101 content off and on since I was 10 on various channels and such. And what I can tell you through doing that is Wizard101 has one of the most lovable communities where I've felt the most loved. And I'll just say that. I make Roblox videos on this channel, I make Pokemon videos on this channel. Pokemon viewers of mine, I love you guys so much, but I've also gotten the most hate from Pokemon, and similar amounts of hate from Roblox. When it comes to Wizard101 though, that the community is the best part. 9 times out of 10, you find some really nice people that you quest with, or that you can just talk to, and they're genuinely good people. Unfortunately though, it seems like WizTube is falling off, and I feel like I'm allowed to say that since I've kind of become a semi-WizTuber here recently. As much as I hate to say it, Wizard101 as a topic, statistically, has decreased over time. It reaches less people. People aren't clicking on it as much. And I hate that. I really do, because Wizard101 means absolutely so much to me. It's just a little stupid card game, and that might be what it is to some. But to me, it's literally part of my childhood. I remember asking my dad for crowns. I remember asking my dad for a membership. I remember asking my dad, wow, maybe I would not blame him if he doesn't like me. He's a good man for putting up with me for all this time. But jokes aside, I love this game. Like, it's one of the few that I can actually get immersed in. Wizard101's always been a safe spot to go, right? And it's like, to see this game just go down would absolutely break my heart. As it would probably you too. I hate being negative. I hate saying bad things about this game. Thinking about the memories and like everything that I've done in this game. You know, I remember when I was actually like crying when I was younger, when I did not, spoilers for the story by the way, when I did not save Azteca. Azteca's my favorite world. You guys saw that. And I never really said that much why. It's because we lost. It's because it's sad. It actually brought out emotion in me. But now we gotta talk about that. Wizard101 has lost its magic. As cringe as that might say out loud, I understand I'm not young and it may not hit the same as it used to. But when I still replay Azteca, I'm still like, dang, like, oh, that's so sad. I don't really get that anymore because Wizard101 has gotten too unserious. Oh, how I hate everything about this world. This is not a world ranking video. I gotta calm down. But Wizard101 really lost me here. So we're gonna talk about 2 things in this section. The first thing is that we go from being the Aether Titan, the Scion, the GOAT of the entire Spiral, to fighting gobblers who all they do is fart. I don't get it. Wizard101 recently said in a tweet to Mr. Beast, who I really think they need to stay out of pop culture because it just does not make them look very good. They've implemented darker themes in their worlds recently. While some of them might be darker, you know, Lemuria and Darkmoor, you still have things like this, where you go from being the eternal being or whatever the hell, to fighting King Gobsmack, which was the most embarrassing thing I think Wizard101 has ever implemented. No, there's probably more than that, but that one I hate. I'm not saying Wizard101 was ruined because of Caramel. I know there's plenty of people who like this world, and I honestly respect their opinion. Just because I don't doesn't mean you don't have to. But what my problem is how do we go from that, where the stakes are at the absolute highest of a super dope world like Imperia, to Candy Cane Lane? I get we're exploring themes of corporate greed and everything, but this just seems a hell of a lot less stakes than before. They try to implement so many jokes and everything. I mean, hey, even if you disagree with me about the caramel section, I made a video recently talking about my least favorite areas in all of Wizard101. Spoiler, Firecat Alley was on there. Why? Because they put Lizzo Firespitter, someone who's highly controversial for doing really bad things to her backup dancers, in a kid's game, which she wasn't even partnered with. What the actual hell are you doing, Kingsisle? Now, I will say, there is some merit to this world and to other worlds like this where it's just so lighthearted because, yeah, there's darker undertones under that, and I get that. Totally, I do. But now we're gonna start going in circles because now it's just too complicated. Like I've said in multiple videos, and I stand by it, the story's just so darn complicated. After Arc 3, I couldn't tell you what happens. But also in that, what else did we lose? We lost feeling like a wizard because now they treat us like a god. I don't know about you, but I don't happen to think I am God, and I never will. Therefore, I don't really like playing as one. I think turning into the Aether Titan was super cool for a limited time thing. I actually thought that was an awesome change. But now where everybody almost reveres us and also fears us at the same time, I just don't really like that very much. I think it's kind of strange. They all call us young wizards still, and yet we're like the most powerful being in the spiral? Like, come on. But also, even though this is more of an objective take, the spells have gone from being super cool and badass to cringe. How do you go from Vampire and Banshee to Snack Attack, where a gobbler just burps all over you? That is stupid. Yet another reason why I hate Caramel. Now, before we go to my final analysis, I want to end on one more good note. You know, we've had a string of bad, then we had some good, and then we had another quick one bad. So before we talk about the finals, of course you guys know we have to talk about the music. The music in this game is literally one of the best. Their sound designers are chef's kiss excellent. The music is memorable, nostalgic, and actually just fits. Right? Like, this just sounds Krakatopian to you. Not only because I know I've been into this world like 14 million times, but also just because it feels like it just matches perfectly. Battle themes, everything just sounds good. While I'm obviously a little bit less connected to the brand new music of like Darkmoor and Novus and everything around that time, just because I've spent less time with it, it's obviously still very good and something that I think this game does exceptionally well that a lot of games miss out on. The spell animations look good. There's a lot of things about the graphics of this game that I like. It just sucks that they haven't necessarily gone back and fixed what really needs to be fixed. So all that being said, it's time for my grand finale opinion and analysis. But before we do that, let's go to a world that fits me a little bit better. Glad to be home. Alright, so let's talk about what I actually think is the state of Wizard101 in 2026. And the state of Wizard101, I think, is thin ice. Those are the two words that I would use to describe Wizard101 right now. I think they have a lot of things going for them. I do. Some places have held up better than others. The sound design is... Can these birds be quiet? Anyway, some of these areas, like Chrysalis, I still think looks pretty good for an older game. The nostalgia hits a lot of people. One of my friends at work who actually inspired me to make this YouTube video had not heard of Wizard101 in years. So unfortunately, with all those positives, there's quite a few negatives I just can't ignore, which are the devs have to start listening. The devs have to care. Some people say that the devs obviously care. No, they don't. Okay? Most of them don't. There are some that do. And to those, I actually love you. You know who I'm talking to. I actually appreciate you guys that actually care and want to make this game great. And don't just go to work, get your paycheck, and go home. To those that are like that, though, please leave the team. My honest thing, I'm not praying on your downfall. I'm not hoping you get fired. I'm not one of those people that's gonna issue threats. We gotta stop with the threats, Wizard101 community. But what I do hope is that you'll just find peace and happiness somewhere else. Because there are people like me who genuinely want this game to succeed. I'm literally rooting for it. I want the dev team to feel like they actually care about us. I want the sound design people to get their recognition. I want Wizard101 to be a good game again. My biggest fear about this game is starting to become a reality. As Wizard101 continues these changes that are making people mad, people are gonna start leaving. And while this game may never fully die, it may harm our future wizards. Guys, that is pretty much it from me about today's video. I got me some Stardust! Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, let me know. Please leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I really wanted to make this. I really wanted to share my opinion about where this game is at, because while I love it, there are problems that cannot be ignored any longer. I really hope that Wizard101, maybe a dev, sees this video and understands that I genuinely do love you guys. I love the community. I love the devs. I love everything about this game. All of my criticisms are just because I care. Just get me in a Zoom call. I'll tell you all my personal experiences about this game that I like, things that I don't like. Just listen to us. Don't keep rolling out these half-baked updates that are just not very good. You guys know you can do better. You guys are talented. Use your talent. All that being said, though, I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Also, please check out Robify on Spotify, Robify. I make music. Love you. Bye.